Why the price of real estate may not even matter. Yeah, I said it. Stay tuned to this week's episode of Prime Props TV. Promise you, it'll be worth it. You'll find out exactly what I mean too. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Props TV. So glad you joined us here. I made some pretty big, bold claims earlier, so allow me to explain what I mean. But before I get started, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Prime Props TV channel and get content for all investors out there. And make sure to click on the little bell and you'll know exactly when I post it. Thanks. Now, why the price of real estate may not matter. Are you ready? What I'm about to share with you today is pure gold. As investors, always remember this. Cash flow is king, and the price of real estate is just an opinion. Take a few seconds. Just let that sink in. Generally, we often hear people say cash is king, and quite frankly, that's 100% true in real estate investing terms as well. Same thing, but cash flow is king in real estate. Allow me to explain. If you're a cash flow positive property, every month this means real hard cash is deposited into your bank account. You can spend it, invest it, or save it. Essentially, you can do whatever it is you want with this extra cash to your heart's content. On the other hand, the price of real estate is just an opinion. Yeah, an opinion. It doesn't matter if it comes from me, another realtor, your family member, or the newspaper. Just an opinion. If someone tells you what your property is worth, absolutely 100% an opinion. If it gets bought or sold at a particular price, then it becomes reality and becomes a fact. But what's the difference? You cannot take the price of the property to your nearest grocery store in exchange for food. You cannot take the price of your property to the nearest Starbucks to get a coffee. You cannot take that opinion of how much your property is worth and fill your car up with gas with it. You kind of get the point. There are all the opinions. At the end of the day, have no monetary values. However, you can take your cash flow to the nearest grocery store to buy food, Starbucks to get coffee, or a gas station to fill up your car. When you have appreciation from your properties, you have what accountants and finance wizards call unrealized gains. This is the same principle as when you have stocks that have gone up in price, but you are still holding on to them. You have profits on paper, but have yet to realize the gain because you have yet to sell it to get a cash return. In real estate terms, the only real way to realize your gains and turn your property appreciation into cash is by 1, selling your property, which I usually don't recommend if you don't have to make profits, or 2, refinancing your property, which I would recommend if you can do it and your income supports it. If you understand the concept of what I just talked about, then you're truly a savvy veteran real estate investor. Good job. If the market completely crashes and real estate prices dropped 100%, I would still be able to sleep at night like a baby. Why? Because if my portfolio is worth $100, $1, or a fraction of a dollar at a cent tomorrow, I would still have all my tenants paying for my property's carrying costs and building equity at the same time, generating cash flow. I only lose money if I sell my property during a crash, or in other words, if I opt to realize the loss by selling my asset during a downturn. However, if I don't sell and I carry unrealized loss on paper, then I'm making positive cash flow each month during the downturn. Doesn't matter. Starting to make sense now? The unfortunate mistake I see way too often is people buy cash flow negative properties and do not prepare themselves for the worst case scenario, which is a market crash. When a crash does happen, the people in this category that bought a negative cash flow property would freak out and then realize that these negative headlines, and then when you realize that their property is cash flow negative, they take a few $100 out of their pockets and then they're like, oh crap, we're in a downturn. And in a state of panic and worry, they will list their property and eventually sell it at a loss. That is how you lose money in real estate. Losing a few bucks each month in a market that is trending upwards is fine. In fact, people may even call you a genius investor because you bought early. But however, if the situation changes and the market goes into the worst and tailspin, the best thing you can have is have a property that has cash flow because you're protected from the losses. And that's what I always recommend to my clients. If the numbers work, buy it. If it's a positive cash flow investment, then the juice is worth the squeeze. Now, if you're looking for ways to create positive cash flow of pre-con condos, you can download my pre-con cheat sheet in the link below. It's free for you, and all you have to do is just sign up. Now, having a cash flow positive property during a crash is how you survive it, like I was saying earlier. But it also is how you create generational wealth in real estate by holding onto your properties, surviving the ups and the downs of the market while pumping out cash into your pockets at the same time. So there you have it. Cash flow is king, and the price of real estate is just an opinion, so it doesn't matter. I hope this week's video was a nugget of gold for you. I know it's a huge mindset shift, but if you understand that, you're on your way to becoming a successful and wealthy real estate investor. Until next time, happy real estating.